Translate this and you'll be a director, the millionaire laughed. He didn't know the waitress would silence him. Have you ever seen someone underestimated so deeply that the world almost missed their brilliance? Tonight, you're going to meet her, a quiet waitress who walked into a billionaire's world with nothing but honesty, courage, and a secret talent that would change her life forever. So stay until the end, because the very moment she opened her mouth, everything in that room stopped. Amara stood behind the counter of a small Italian restaurant in the downtown district, her apron slightly wrinkled, her hair tucked under a cheap hairnet. Every night she cleaned tables after her shift, saving coins in a coffee jar labeled Dream Fund. She had once been a university student studying linguistics, fluent in 5 languages, but life had not been kind. Her father fell ill, her mother left, and dreams of graduation dissolved into hospital bills. Now she served customers who never learned her name. It was a Friday night when everything began. The restaurant buzzed with the laughter of rich clients and the clinking of expensive wine glasses. Amara carried a tray of pasta to a corner table where 3 men sat. One of them tall, early 40s, sharp suit, the kind of confidence money gives, was Victor Langford, the owner of Langford Enterprises, a global media conglomerate. People whispered about him, arrogant, ruthless, self-made. The kind of man who looked at people like they were numbers in his portfolio. "Excuse me, sir," Amara said softly, setting down the plates. Victor glanced up briefly. "Thanks, sweetheart. Do you understand Italian? This menu is so badly translated it's an insult to the language." Amara smiled politely. "Actually, sir, it's not Italian, it's a mix of Tuscan and Sicilian dialects. Some phrases don't translate cleanly." His eyebrow lifted. "Oh, you speak Italian?" She nodded, and French and Spanish, a little Mandarin. The men chuckled. "A waitress with 5 languages," one of them said mockingly. Victor leaned back in his chair. "All right then, translate this." He flipped open his phone and read a passage aloud in an obscure dialect. "If you can tell me what it means, I'll hire you as a director in my translation department." The table roared with laughter, the kind that stings. Amara froze, her cheeks burning, but then she took a breath. "Sir," she said quietly, "that's a 14th century Sardinian proverb. It means, the tongue cuts deeper than the sword. It's about how words can destroy or save lives." The laughter stopped. Even Victor blinked in surprise. "How did you know that?" Amara smiled faintly. "Because I learned it from my father, who used to say words can build empires or ruin them." Victor's face softened for just a second, then he chuckled awkwardly. "Impressive, maybe I owe you a job offer." Amara nodded politely and walked away, but something in his eyes followed her: curiosity, respect, and a question he couldn't shake. That night, Amara went home to her tiny apartment above a laundromat. She opened her notebook filled with old translations, poetry, and dreams written in 5 scripts. She looked at the flickering light bulb, whispering, "One day I'll work in a place where words matter again." The next morning, she was halfway through her shift when a tall man in a black suit walked in. It was Victor, the staff whispered instantly. He approached the counter and said, "I looked you up. You studied linguistics at Elmhurst University, right?" Amara hesitated. "I dropped out when my dad got sick." He placed a business card on the counter. "Come to Langford Enterprises tomorrow at 10 a.m. Bring your notebook. Let's see if you can silence more than just a restaurant full of men." When Amara arrived at the glass tower the next day, she felt small under the shadow of the skyscraper. Inside, everything gleamed: polished marble floors, elevators that whispered shut, people in designer suits who didn't look twice at her thrifted blouse. Victor met her personally. "Today you'll translate something for me," he said, handing her a document. "It's a negotiation letter from one of our foreign partners. My team been at it for 2 weeks. See what you find." Hours passed in a quiet office. Amara's pencil moved across the page like a dancer. At last she looked up and said, "Your team missed the context, sir. It's not a partnership offer, it's a veiled takeover threat. The idioms hide an intent to buy out your company's shares." Victor froze. He snatched the page from her and read. His pulse raced. She was right. "You just saved me millions," he whispered. How did you see that?" "Because," Amara said softly, "I listen to the silence between words. That's where truth hides." That moment changed everything. Victor didn't just hire her, he promoted her straight into his executive communications team. For the first time, Amara sat in meetings where people respected her mind. Yet she never lost her humility. She still took the bus home, still sent money for her father's medicine, still wrote poetry on napkins during lunch breaks. Over the next year, she helped Victor expand into 4 new countries, correcting contracts others couldn't understand. Slowly, the arrogant CEO began to change too. He stopped talking down to people. He started listening. And one night after another long day, he looked at her across the boardroom and said quietly, "You know, I used to think money could buy intelligence. Then I met you." Amara smiled, "And I used to think men like you never listen." They both laughed, but there was something real behind it: respect, friendship, maybe more. The final test came when the company faced an international scandal, a leaked document in a foreign newspaper accusing Victor of corporate fraud. The headlines spread fast, investors panicked, employees whispered. But Amara read the original article in its native script and noticed something no one else did: the idioms had been mistranslated on purpose to twist the meaning. She worked through the night, comparing clauses, highlighting errors, until finally she stood in Victor's office at dawn. "Sir," she said, handing him a folder, "they didn't expose you, they mistranslated you." He read it, eyes widening. The article that said he stole from the poor actually meant he saved the poor from being stolen from.